about the AIDA model and how it influences customers. And we talked about the 6-step process, how consumers are influenced by these steps as they purchase a product, from awareness to knowledge to liking to preference to conviction to purchase, and how advertisers need to understand these steps and how advertisers use or work with the AIDA model to create an advert that can achieve their goals. Okay. Do we have any questions on last week's lesson? Anything that you think we might need to share or understand? Anything that you didn't understand? So I can explain before we move. Okay. So if a question comes and explain 3 persuasive communication techniques, the pathos, logos, and ethos, you'll be able to do that. These are 3 effective appeals, remember? The other one uses ethics. The other one uses reason, facts, statistics, and things like that. We have any question on that? Any questions? Okay, no question. Okay, guys. So today, my focus is on the exam that you're going to write. So everything that we're going to discuss is going to be there. Okay. Now, let's go back a little bit, okay, to what we call algorithmic advertising, the automated process that is in transit. Who remembers this? Zenzo, do you remember this?
Yes, sir.
Explain a bit. What is it?
It's like using Twitter and social media platforms to advertise. So it's like these pop-up adverts that we see when scrolling through Instagram stories and what have you. It's just, yeah, it's brief, and it if it's interesting enough, you want to like swipe up, because I know with Instagram you swipe up and then you go to the profile or the website and then you get more information from that.
Okay, correct.
It's programmed, I think.
Yes, they're automated, meaning they're automatically.
Automated, yes.
So basically how they work is they're based on your pedigree, by your history of browsing. What areas do you go to? So when you log into your Facebook or Twitter and Instagram, the adverts are generated automatically based on your history of web browsing. Okay, by this I mean, let's say today you're busy looking at sneakers, you're looking at Adidas, Nike, all these sneakers. By the time you log into Facebook and Twitter, Instagram, you're going to be bombarded by adverts about sneakers, isn't it? Because it is based on your history, the things that you were searching. If you start to look for a car now, you're looking for cars to buy, things like that, engines. The time you go on Twitter and Instagram, you're going to start to see adverts relating to cars. Okay, that's what we call algorithmic advertising. Okay, now, when a question comes and say, explain that, this is how you explain it. Okay, it's based on your history. These are pop-ups, like you said. They're based on their current and past patterns of your behavior. What is it that you've been looking at in the past? So these pop-ups, they generally go to your Facebook, to your Twitter, and Instagram. Okay. If you like pages of makeup on Facebook, it is likely that you will see adverts that relate to these makeups. If you start following a page on Instagram that is selling jeans, you're likely going to see more adverts and more pages that sell jeans. Okay, that's how it works. Now, let's move on to self-reference criterion. This one, again, a lot of people, you were failing to answer it correctly in the assignment. It's going to be there in your exam. It's going to be there in advertising forever. Okay, self-reference criterion. This is very easy. Most people were defining it from a marketing perspective. You need to include the advertising perspective of it. Remember, we said the way we advertise in South Africa is going to be different with the way we advertise in Japan. It's going to be different with the way we advertise uh, in Nigeria, in Congo, in Zambia, in every other part of the world. Why is it going to be different? There are certain demographics, certain social cultural limits, or certain cultural tendencies that are different from South Africa. So it is important, that companies, manufacturers, advertisers understand um, how these things work in each particular country. Remember, there's a demand for every product. Let's say there's a demand of a product in Africa, in Asia. You need to market these goods first. You need to market your product first. However, now the challenge is the way you're going to market your cell phone here is going to be different with the way you're going to market it in Japan or in the United States. Okay. And the way you're going to advertise that cell phone is going to be different with the way you advertise in Washington, D.C., and the way you advertise in Eastern Cape. Why? Because the target markets in these two different areas are different in many respects. And they will always be different. Think about the lifestyle that is in Gauteng, and think of the lifestyle that is outside Gauteng. Is different. So the way that an advertiser is going to produce an advert and advertise it is also going to be different. That self-reference criterion. Okay, the importance of self-reference now in advertising industry, it must ensure that it understands, or the company, the advertisers understand the culture of the people that they are targeting in a new market. Basically meaning advertisers may need to adapt their advertising or the product when marketing to a new demographic. This is when we talked about all those examples, if you still remember, that there are certain colors that you can use if you're in a particular country. There are certain phrases that you can use when you're in China. Pepsi had to change because their phrase, it meant a different thing in China, waking up dead people. So they had to change. Okay. Same thing with certain words. There are certain words that you can use when you're in Sweden or when you're in United Kingdom because they have a different meaning. Same here. There are certain things that we can use, but maybe they might use them in another different country. So that's the self-reference criterion. We're talking of advertisers understanding the culture of a new market. And the way that they are going to advertise is going to be different because those people have different values, ethos, and cultures. That's why we are saying you need to understand self-reference criterion. Why then is it important? It is important because it's going to enlighten you on how you're going to practice your advertising, how you're going to market your product. Without you understanding this, you won't be able to market your product. You're going uh, to do like what McDonald's do. Remember that example, that instance that we have in your textbook. When McDonald's opened a new restaurant in India, they were advertising beef, all these ingredients. However, in that particular area, they don't eat beef. They don't use those ingredients. It is against their culture. McDonald's had to change to accommodate the new market that they have opened in India. They changed everything, the utensils, they changed everything, the ingredients to vegetables, things like that. That's self-reference criterion. So always remember, whenever this question comes related to advertising, don't give me dictionary definitions. Be creative. Answer these questions within the realms of advertising. Okay. So the most important words that you need to use there is understanding the culture, understanding the new market. You need to know the values and cultures of those people before you start advertising. Otherwise, you're going to waste resources, like what McDonald's did. They lost millions of dollars. They had to change the campaigns. And they had to include cultural phrases so that it can appeal and resonate to that particular target audience in India. Their adverts, they just took the advert straight from United States. They thought it was going to work straight from US to India. No, it did not work. Different people. Okay, the demographics are different now. So these are the most important things that you need to understand. Okay. Any questions on self-reference criterion? Any questions, Google?
For now, I think I just have to, I think I did understand the self-criterion. So I don't think I have a question, but if I do get a question, I'll definitely contact you.
Yeah, that would be great. Okay, guys, you know we are always limited to 40 minutes. Okay, so 11:32. Thank you. uh, yeah, I am. You might think you're talking to someone else. It's me today. Okay. Okay, so let's continue. Remember,
Where are others?
I'm sure the
Okay, I'm also going to leave early because of the load shedding. So I'm supposed to be on standby with the generator because I think they said it's going to be off at 12. So maybe we're going to cut there and then we'll continue when I come back.
all right. So yeah, because me, I got a workshop also. So let's just make this quickly.
Okay, cool.
Uh,
All right.
social trends that are changing the way we advertise. Okay. What are the social trends that are changing the way people advertise today, companies advertise? Okay. Remember, the social environment is always changing, it's in constant change. And the changes we see definitely have an impact on the way we advertise. Number one, the demographics. Okay. Age, race, ethnicity, gender, marital status, income, education, and employment. These are the determinants of how we advertise. It's very important to understand the people or the target audience. How do they survive? What's their level of education? Their income, source of income, marital status, are they divorced, widowed, married, single, things like that. These are important information that you need to understand as an advertiser, as it has an impact on the way that we advertise. Your race, your ethnicity, age. Who are we targeting? Are we targeting the youths, the mothers, the fathers, the old age, 50 plus or the 70 plus? You need to understand these things because all these things have an impact on the way we advertise. Because how are you going to advertise to an audience that you don't know? What ethnicity that you are driving in it? You don't know. What gender are you targeting? Okay. You also now, another trend is changing gender roles. The changing gender roles and the move by the women out of the home into the workplace in the last 50 plus years has a profound impact on the social structures of societies. Women want product advertising to acknowledge and reflect their changing role in society, which is true. We have now, the gender roles are changing constantly. Women now are not viewed only as housewives. Women are also now viewed as engineers, as radio personalities, as TV producers, as astronauts, as lecturers. Anyway, within any industry, you can find women also having influential positions. So advertisers, you need to understand the changing gender roles. These are also have impact on the way we advertise. You can't continue having male-dominated adverts, advertising products or services. No. When you're advertising about educational services, make sure you also include women there. When you're advertising about engineering, also include women there. This is what what's happening now. Things have been changing from the past 50 years or so. Women are being accommodated more into the advertising, and they are moving away from the sexualization of women as well. Back then, you'd see a lot of women being on adverts as sexual objects or used in roles that are within the confines of sex. But now things are changing again. We are seeing more women into more positive roles. Then also you need to look at ethnicity and social economics. These are trends also that impacts the way we advertise. Think of okay, so this ethnicity. Think of 50 years ago, Black people living in countries such as United States and South Africa were almost exclusively found in the lower socio-economic class. Luxury products such as perfumes, cosmetics, and other grooming products were predominantly targeted at Caucasian people, white people. But now things have changed again. We are having perfumes, cosmetics, and other these grooming products that also target Black people, that also target Indians, that also target Chinese. Okay. This is how the advertising industry is changing now. All those stereotypes that used to happen during the apartheid era, they are no longer there. Things are changing. We are seeing more Black people participating in adverts. Then you look at the green trend. The green trend basically refers to the increased consciousness or focus on ecological matters such as the sustainability of the planet and preserving it for future generations. We are seeing more adverts that are telling us about climate change. We are seeing more adverts that are telling us about water, air pollution, environmental pollution, the effects of plastic on our lands, the effects of plastic on water, in the seas, on sea, things like that. So the green trend has become a very impactful concept in the way we advertise. We need to be conscious of our environment. Do we accommodate our animals? Do we accommodate the extinct, those endangered species, the white rhinoceros, and other animals that are also being endangered through poaching? So that's the green trends. Then advertising has evolved with technology, which is very true. Internet and social media technology have changed the social environment and have an enormous influence on advertising. The way that people used to advertise back then, just 20 years ago, it's now different. We have technology now. We have more adverts on the internet. We have more adverts on social media. So all these are trends that affect the way we advertise now. Because now we have Facebook, we have Twitter, we have Instagram, we have Click Pay, we have Google AdWords. The way that we advertise is totally different. We have so many options of creating good copies that can surround different platforms. Hence, technology impacts the way we advertise. Rather than focusing on newspapers, few advertisers now focus on newspapers. More people focus on social media because it reaches a wider and a wider audience. It can advertise here, it can reach people in the United States, it can reach people as far as Canada, it can reach people as far as Cape Town. Okay. Now let's look at marketing communication tools. Okay, so marketing communication. What is marketing communication? Google, what is marketing communication?
Well, it's already there. It refers to means adopted by companies to convey messages about products and brands they sell.
Okay, and give me 3 examples of marketing communication tools.
Radio ads, print media, billboards.
No, I didn't say give me examples of advertising platforms. I say give me 3 examples of marketing communication tools.
Oh, Ishabonak. Senzo, please help me out here.
It's like Sales promotion.
Yes.
I think it's one of them.
Sales promotion.
Then you have advertising.
Two, correct?
Then you have direct marketing.
Correct. Okay.
Okay.
Remember now, marketing communication. Okay. This is a method that is adopted by companies to communicate, okay, or to convey messages about products and brands that they are selling. Okay. And
So
we have different tools which form part of the promotional or marketing communication mix. Number one, we have advertising. Number two, we have public relations. We have sales promotion. We have direct marketing. Okay, we have personal selling. We have sponsorship. We also have publicity. Okay. Zenzo, what's your question?
so so the reason why Google's wrong when she said the billboard and stuff, is she wrong because those are advertising tools
Yes.
or what? Because it's a form of advertising though. And
Yes.
an advertising is a marketing tool,
Yes.
marketing communication tool.
Okay. Good question. But within your question, you answered yourself as well when you said part of advertising tools. Okay. Under advertising, advertising falls under marketing communication tools. So within marketing,
What's
okay, let me explain. So under marketing communication mix, we have advertising, we have public relations. Within public relations, we have tools that we use in, in public relations. Okay. We also have tools that we use in sales promotion. We also have tools that we use in direct marketing. We also have tools that we use in personal selling. Then we also have tools that we use in advertising. Okay. So within
so
we use TV, radio, digital billboard, email, whatever. These are now part of advertising tools that we use when we are communicating via advertising. Hence, they are not part of the marketing communication tool. Because within marketing communication mix, you find relations, you find sales promotion, you find direct marketing. Yes,
I just wanted to ask the difference between marketing communication tools and advertising tools. I'm not sure if I am answered or I'm confusing myself with the two.
okay. Advertising is part of communication mix. That's the first thing you need to understand. Okay. Marketing communication tools, we are saying that definition they say it refers to means adopted by companies to convey messages about the products and brands that they sell. Okay. So within marketing communication mix, we only have 6 or 7 concepts. Okay, we have advertising as number one. We have public relations, we have publicity, we have sales promotion. These are the tools of marketing communication. Okay. Then under advertising, you have different tools that you can use to advertise. Just like you have different tools that you can use when you're doing public relations, when you're doing sales promotion. Okay. So under advertising, we can use television, we can use radio, we can use billboards, we can use flyers, etc., etc. Okay. The bigger picture is marketing communication works at a bigger picture. We are saying as a company, they design a marketing communication mix and say, okay, within this company, what is going to be our strategy for marketing communication? Then they'll say, okay, we're going to use advertising. Then they say, okay, within advertising, what strategies are we going to implement within advertising? Then they'll say, okay, let's advertise on SABC. Then they'll say, okay, cool, tick. Let's do also public relations. What exactly are we going to do with public relations? Let's create conference. Let's have events. Okay. Then they will say, okay, let's do sales promotion. What are we going to do on sales promotion? Let's come up with discounts. Let's come up with buy one, win that. Buy one, get this for free. Let's create vouchers. Okay. Can you see now how it works?
Okay, no, I get it. Thank you.
So now, the most important thing in marketing communication is, what are the objectives of marketing communication methods? What are the objectives of marketing communication? The objectives are, number one is to communicate. So if you look at the marketing communication mix that we have, advertising, PR, sales promotion, all these things are meant to communicate, isn't it? What is it that you have to communicate? Whatever you are selling or offering. You might be selling an iPhone, you might be offering a service. So marketing communication tools are meant to communicate. Number two, to compete. Who are you going to compete with? We are going to compete with our competitor, Nike versus Adidas, Mercedes-Benz versus BMW. Okay. Then number three, what is the purpose then of marketing communication? The third one is to convince. The whole purpose, the whole idea of these tools that we find in marketing communication is to convince the target audience that we are the best, that our products are better than the rest. Are we together, guys?
Yes, we are.
In order now to be effective, organizations should ensure that whatever information they communicate is clear, is accurate, is truthful, it's useful to the stakeholders involved. In fact, being truthful and accurate in marketing communication is more than a matter of integrity. It's also a matter of legality. Since fraudulent marketing communications can end in lawsuits or even in the criminal justice system, basically now we are saying, as we try to communicate, to compete, and to convince uh, within us as a company, as we are using our marketing communication, we are using our different marketing communication tools of such as advertising, PR. We need to make sure that the message that we create in advertising is truthful, it's accurate, it's clear. The same thing applies to public relations. The same thing applies to sales promotion. The same thing happens to direct marketing. When you're doing direct marketing, you're emailing someone. Make sure that the emails that you're sending as campaigns, the email campaigns that you create, they are truthful and they are accurate and they are clear. Once I get a direct email marketing campaign, I should be able to understand it. Oh, okay, they want me to buy one cell phone, it's costing 700 rand. Or if it's explaining the benefits of me using an FNB account, then I should be able to understand it. Okay, so if I use FNB, I'm going to get zero charges if I swipe in any ShopRite or in any Spar shop. Okay, so all this has to work within the legality as well, within the legal means. You don't lie. Remember, you don't create deceptive communication material. How then do we move from marketing communication tools? Remember, we need to synergy between marketing goals and other business goals. So our marketing communication, it should create a synergy, a bond with the company objectives or goals. What is it that we want to achieve? At the end of the day, we need to make profit. So all our marketing communication strategy should lead us to that. We need to make sure people are aware of our products, isn't it? In advertising. Once you're advertising, you need people to be aware. And the second thing, you need to persuade people and convince them to like and to prefer your product over any particular product in the market. Hence, you create a purchase that leads to a profit. So the whole idea of marketing communication, it has to be linked with the business goals or the business objectives of that company. Why are we in business? In business to make money, to make profits. So we do all this communication in different tools so that we convince people to like our product, so that they can prefer our product or our services over our competitors. So the business goals and marketing goals often overlap. Remember, we discussed this when we were discussing about how marketing works with advertising. And marketing, remember, it's a management process that includes the strategic planning, implementation, control, and a mix of business activities that are related to development, to pricing, and distribution of a product. So now with marketing communication, we are saying this is a way that companies use to convey their messages, to communicate their message about their products or about their institution or their brands that they are selling to the people. That's marketing communication. Within marketing communication or promotional marketing communication mix is created, and we have about 6: PR, sponsorship, publicity, and advertising, of which we will focus more on advertising as our core fundamental module. Okay, so that's marketing communication tools. Then remember, move on now to SMART. It is important now that your company objectives, your marketing objectives are SMART, so that you clearly, effectively measure the outcomes, what you say to achieve and what you have achieved. Okay. If you set out an advertising campaign, what is it that you want to achieve? Remember, how do you measure the success of your advertising campaigns? The SMART methods now, it works here. What does it do? The SMART method stands for, number one, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. Okay, so specific, state clearly what you want to achieve. When you're drawing up your marketing communication strategy, what is it that you want to achieve? You need to state it clearly, guys. This is what we want to achieve. This is our objective. This is our way we want to go. This is what we want to aim at. Measurable, set values as a benchmark against which to evaluate your results. Measurable, obviously, set a high standard, a benchmark where you try to achieve and say, okay, this is going to be our line. This is what we want to achieve, so that you can evaluate your results. The aftermath of your campaign, you need to come back and say, okay, let's evaluate against what we have set as our benchmark. Did we achieve? Did we shortfall? Then achievable. Set objectives that are within your capacity and budget. What do you understand by that, Zenzo? Achievable. Set objectives that are within your capacity and budget.
I feel like it has to be realistic. You
Yes.
see, so you can't just be overly ambitious. You must set goals that you know you can achieve within the time set for you to achieve them. So yeah, I feel like it has to do with realism.
Yes. So you need to be real. You need to be realistic in your approach. You need to understand your capacity, your abilities. What is it that you can do? And most importantly, your financial budget. How much do you have? Don't be too ambitious. And when you're creating a marketing communication strategy, make sure it is not vague. It should be clear, so that you understand your budget. Okay, guys, we have 10K. How are we going to work with our 10,000? Okay. Then relevant. Set objectives that will help you to improve particular aspects of your business. What you understand by that, Google? Relevant. Set objectives that will help you to improve particular aspects of your business. Hey, Google, what do you understand by that statement? Oh, I don't know what's happening there. Okay, so relevant now, we are saying make sure when you're setting your goals, make sure these are the goals that are in line with what you want to achieve, number one. And these goals should be able to help you improve a certain area in your business. Then time bound. Set objectives that you can achieve within a specific time period. Always set a time frame. By this, when do you want to achieve this? Okay, within 2 weeks, 2 months, 3 months, within a year. Always set a time period. It's important that you work within a specific given time. So as with integrated marketing communication, a business needs to synchronize and integrate its businesses and marketing activities in order to increase growth and profitability. Okay, so you need to make sure your marketing activities with your business activities, you synergize, you create a bond that should interlink. Your objectives of marketing should not divert from your company's objectives. Rather, they should work together. Okay. Any questions on the SMART methods? Okay, no questions. Okay, so now let's look on the advantages and disadvantages of using an advertising agents. Okay, what are the advantages of using an advertising agent? Advantages: extensive skills, resources, and experience. Definitely, you're gonna get a lot of skills, resources, and experiences because advertising agencies hire people with technical know-how, people with the relevant skills, and people with experience. And also, experience comes from them having worked with different companies or different people, created different campaigns and ads. What are the disadvantages? Likely to cost more than in-house marketing. Correct. If you have an in-house marketing or in-house advertising agents, meaning you have your own within your own company, it's likely not to cost you more. But if you're sourcing from an advertising agent, it might cost a lot of money. They might charge you a lot of money. Okay. What's the other advantage? Advertising agencies can specialize in certain fields. Correct. They can either say we specialize in TV ads, we specialize in digital marketing, we specialize in billboards, or specialize in print advertising. What are the disadvantages? A risk of inadvertent marketing leaks prior to launch date. This is true. Maybe your copy, your ideas might leak to other competitors way before you have even published or broadcast your campaign. Another advantage is a variety of services to match all budgets. Correct. So advertising agencies, they have created what we call, what can I say? They've created a way that they can match everyone's budget. So they can work with your budget. They can look at you and say, okay, you have 10K, we can work with your 10K in creating this. Okay, you have 100K, we can work with you and create this. They can work according to the budget that customer might have or clients. The disadvantage, advertising agents may not understand the theme's version. True. You might visit an advertising agent and you want your campaign to go in a certain direction. They might end up not understanding what is it that you want to achieve, what is it that you want to do. Another advantage of using an advertising agent, it saves time. Instead of you running around trying to create an ad, you can put all that pressure to advertising agencies. It is easy to change the teams creating your marketing. The disadvantage, there is no chance the agents may have competitors on their books. Advertising agents may not be as enthusiastic as you are. This is correct. Let's say you're coming up with a campaign. You might be having a lot of enthusiasm in you to come up with this particular campaign. But then the moment you go to an advertising agent, you will see that they don't have the same spirit that you have, the same desire that you have on your campaign that you're working on. That may lead to demoralization. Okay, so that's a disadvantage of working with advertising agencies. Any questions? Do you have any question there, Zenzo?
No, sir. No, sir. Still on board.
Okay. Are we good?
Good, good.
Okay, let's continue. Now let's look at the SEO. Mm. What does SEO stand for, Zenzo?
Search engine.
Let's move on to SEO now. SEO stands for search engine optimization. In simple terms, it means the process of improving your site to increase its visibility for relevant searches using keywords to rank in the top search results of search engine. Okay, so this is how it works, search engine optimization. Basically, we are saying you are trying by all means to make sure that people visit your website so that your website can be visible to a lot of people. Okay, the URL structure, that's the link, the social media, the linking builder, the heading tags, the page content, keyword search. The keyword search, basically, they are saying there are certain keywords that you can use to your website so that it can be easily be visible to searchers. If right now, remember that example that I gave. If right now, if I go on Google, if I say printing in Durban, okay, it's a keyword there, it's printing. So all companies that have optimized their sites within this keyword, they will pop up, isn't it? Search engine also helps you with traffic monitoring. Traffic monitoring helps you with understanding how many people visit your sites, how many people have engaged with your sites. Competitive analysis, again, how competitive is your web? You'll be able to analyze all these. Okay, all the links, all the people that have clicked on my site, how many have actually lead to a sale or lead to a purchase? Okay, and also you create a link within your social media. This is when you go on Twitter, then you see an ad that say if you click here, it takes you to the website. I understand you have seen this before. Then it takes you directly to the website. That's your social media linked with your search engine optimization. Okay. Any questions there? Any questions? Yeah, so the last question that we're going to deal with is duties of uh, different people, personnel, and departments in an advertising agents. Okay, I'm sure you've seen these organograms before, where in an advertising agent, we have your account manager, your account planning, the creative side, yeah, your art, your copy, your accounts, your IT, studio, things like that. So these people work in these departments, they have different functions. Your creative function, they're responsible for all the creative copies, production, creative production of thoughts, of ideas, of copies, of certain angles, certain designs. Then you have your research function. These are responsible for research to understand the industry, to understand the market. Then you have people who work on the advertising budgets, the coordination, media selection, the marketing research. Then we also have public relations, even those non-advertising functions as well. So you need to understand all these functions of each particular personnel, from the account executive, graphic designer, what is it that they do? The CEO, what is it that they do? The marketing people, what is it that they do in an advertising agent? What are their duties? Copywriters, what is their duty as well? Okay. Now, the last thing that we want to talk about is pay-per-click. PPP stands for pay-per-click. It is a mode of internet marketing in which advertisers pay a fee each time one of their ads is clicked. Remember, pay-per-click, you usually find it can be on Facebook, on Google. It usually comes with an AD on it. If it is an AD, it means it's not an organic advertisement. It means it has been paid for. So once you click there, that means whoever is the owner of that will be charged. That's why it's called pay per click. Okay, so it's an internet marketing in which advertisers pay a fee each time one of their ads is clicked. So whenever you click an ad, that means the sponsors of that ad, they're being charged. Essentially, it's a way of buying visits to your site rather than attempting to earn those visits organically. Okay, so pay-per-click is a way of attracting people to come to your site or to your website rather than to just wait for people to randomly come to your website. Search engine advertising is one of the most popular forms of PPC. So remember our search engine advertising, usually we find it on Google, on social media. It is the most popular form of pay-per-click. So in summary, PPC is an online advertising model in which an advertiser pays a publisher every time an advertisement is linked or clicked. Alternatively, PPC is also known as cost per click, meaning whenever someone clicks, you're charged. Model. You have Google ads, we have Facebook ads, we have Twitter ads. These are the most popular platforms of PPC advertising. Do you have any questions, Send. Any questions?